Hey folks, Joe Cast again. This time round I'm going to be talking about some of my 3D printed products that are for sale on Etsy, and in particular the Cassian Andor kit, the full kit, which has proven to be quite popular. For those that haven't seen it, they're basically the augmentations for the Cassian Andor blaster or the Jyn Erso blaster to make it look more realistic. You've got your flash hider and your coupling for your barrel extension. That's just using a length of worker barrel extension. These are just a couple of aluminium pieces. This is the 3D printed section of the scope, which is also part of the kit. And then there's your stock, which consists of the front section of the stock and then the rear section of the stock, which goes onto our Raider stock. Now this is the section that we're going to concentrate on today, and basically obviously it's using a Raider stock. Now, the way that the kit is printed, the stock needs to be disassembled in order to fit the pieces of the kit. So we'll bring in a Raider stock. So this is the Raider stock, as most of you will be familiar with. Now, what I do for the cosmetics of it, to just make it a little bit more accurate, is first of all remove this top rail section here. As you can see on the one that I've done there, it's basically just ground off with a Dremel, and then the holes are filled in with a bit of epoxy putty, sanded smooth and then painted up. And also this bottom section here is removed. So you basically just, from the top crease there, just make it cut straight across, and then cut this piece off and then fill that with epoxy putty to give you this flat smooth effect here. Okay, so essentially this is what you want to end up with, and what that consists of is basically just the stock, the front section here, and then you've got the plates for the rear section there. So what we'll do is I'll just show you quickly what happens or how you put it together. First of all, you need to undo these 3 screws at the front of your stock to allow you to remove this front grey section. So that will slide all the way out. Then I just lever it downward, then upward, just to open up the opening, holding it apart with my fingers, and then you can manipulate it and remove it. Now I'll put that section aside for a second. Now what we want to do is separate this joint here, because the ring at the front of the stock extension piece is solid, so it needs to basically slide through, and we have this lip on the outside edge of this which will not allow it to slide through. So what you need to do is, down the inside of the tube there's 3 little clips. Now what you do is you get a reasonable size flat blade screwdriver, put the flat edge of the blade or the driver against the flat front of the clip, and lever that against your hand to just break the contact of the glue. So there's a little bit of glue on them, and you just want to crack that glue. So you just give a little bit of a leverage and you'll hear it'll just click, and that'll free up and it'll allow it to move. You basically rotate around and do that with all 3. And once that's done, alright, what you can do is you can lever that clip back and just slip the screwdriver down the little gap in front of it, and just give it a little wiggle from side to side just to open up that gap in front of the clip, and do that with all 3 of the clips. Push the clip back, slide the driver down into the slot, and then just give it a little wiggle. This will make it much easier to remove that back section. And once you've done that with all 3 of them, you just push the clip out and down, and oh well, look at that one was easy, and out it will pop. So now you've separated these 2 front sections. Now as you look down the tube, you've got 2 upper holes and then 1 lower central hole, so that's your bottom. So keeping that in a bottom orientation, we want to slide that into our front stock extension piece, just like that. And then we take the front one, and that one goes in from the front, and that'll slide all the way in. Now there's a little bit of a lip on this front edge here. That needs to go inside that front arch of your stock extension. So it goes through and the coupling will sit hard up against this front edge, and you push this back one onto it and it'll clip back into place. Now that's essentially the front section fitted. So that's all you need to do. Now essentially what we need to do now is put that back into place. So we just lever this open again, just open it up, and then pop that into place, push it through, whoops, get it the right way, push it through, and if I can get it in far enough, doesn't want to play ball. Okay, there we go. Alright. Make sure that's located in place properly. Now we just grab our screwdriver and tighten up the screws. Now you don't need to worry about the extension lock here, because the stock will be immobile once you've actually got it all assembled, so it won't extend any further than its full extension. So then you get your side dress plates, just one that fits on this side here. I haven't cleaned the excess print material out of it, so I'll just quickly clean that out. There we go. It's support material, we call it. This one's hot off the press, so. Alright, so you just clean that out. So you got your upper two side plates that just squeeze into place like that, and then your central piece that slots in between the two, which these would get glued in, so you'll glue those into place. And there you go. So once you've got that piece cut off and the top rail cut off, that's your stock completed. Basically, you just got to give it a sand and a paint up, and it will be all ready to be put on your Blaster. So once it's all painted, sanded, etc., it'll come up like that, and then fits onto your standard stock position on your Cassian Andor Blaster, and completes the look of the Cassian Andor Blaster. Alright, so that's how to assemble the stock kit for the Cassian Andor. If you haven't checked out my Etsy store, please by all means go and check it out and see if there's anything there that you wish to purchase or that you're interested in. Also, you know, at the bottom of this video, if you want to drop any comments as to kits that you would like to see, or products that you would like me to offer, I will look at your suggestions, and if viable, I'll add them to my selection. So yeah, please go and check out the Etsy store. Thanks very much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep you attuned to all the new bits and pieces that I'm adding as we come along. And before anyone asks, yes, the pulse rifle kits for both the Nerf and the non-Nerf, the more cosplay versions, will be becoming available. I just need to work out costing, etc., and what have you, to make them viable and still profitable. So just also with my Etsy store, just teething with shipping prices and that at the moment on some of these kits that I've already printed for customers. I'm taking a hit on the postage, so I've had to up my postage prices a little bit just to cover at the moment, because the postage on this stuff, especially internationally to the US, etc., is far more expensive than I thought it would be. So please bear with me. It'll get fine-tuned over the next few months and over the next few purchases and sales, etc. So if you think the prices are a little high, they are going to be minimally too high. So we're talking like maybe $5. So it's not like I'm deliberately ripping you off. It's just I'm trying my best not to be ripped off myself. All right. Thanks for your understanding, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.